Violence against women continues to increase. Between July and September this year, more than 13,000 women fell victim to assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm. That's according to the quarterly crime stats that we released earlier today by the Police Minister, Cele. During the same period, that's July to September, over 10,000 rape cases were opened with the police. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu, following that story for us, is joining us now live here on Today this afternoon. Good afternoon, Manqoba. Welcome to Today. Now, more than 7,000 murders in just 3 months. That's the other statistics coming out of the briefing by the minister earlier. Tell us more.
Well, certainly, Pradhan, a staggering 7,004 people have been killed in South Africa. That's been revealed by the police minister, of course, who was updating the country on the crime statistics today. And this is just for the past 3 months, Pradhan. That's between July and September this year alone, which is the second quarter of this year on the police's calendar. And of course, it is quite shocking, Pradhan, given the fact that we know that murder has been on the increase since 2011. And just looking at where we stood in the first quarter of this year, there were just over 6,080 murders that were reported, and that jumped up to 6,400 in the quarter that preceded this one. And where we stand now, but then an additional 13% of the people that have been killed in the country, and of course many of them, but then have been killed in 3 particular areas, that is being Umlazi, eNCA, and as well as I think one of the areas as well is Inanda, which also, you recall, but then that previously it had been the murder capital of the country. So quite shocking statistics, but what we also heard from the police minister was that over 2,800 of these murders were committed by firearms. So that means 2,800 people were shot and killed during this time. And the minister saying, of course, that this is worrying, but take a listen, but then to what he had to say about murders.
7,004 people were killed by other persons in South Africa in the second quarter of 2022-2023 financial year. This is an increase of 841 more people murdered compared to the same period in 2021, when the country was placed under COVID-19 lockdown for 3 and 2. Argument, misunderstanding, and incidents of road rage provocations accounted for 956 murders in the country. Vigilantism incidents claimed the lives of 528 people, while 362 people were killed during the commission of robbery. Inanda, Umlazi Police Station in KwaZulu-Natal and Nyanga Station in Western Cape registered the highest counts of murder during this period. A total of 274 counts of murder were reported in those 3 areas combined.
And Manqoba, sadly or tragically, the number of children being murdered has also increased.
Well, certainly, Pradhan, and you recall, of course, that this is not the first time that the police have raised concern about the killing of women and children in particular. Of course, in the first quarter of this year, we recall that the police minister had alluded to the fact that the months of February and March were the most brutal as far as women and children are concerned in terms of crime targeting that vulnerable group. And of course, we are seeing a spike in the attacks on children as well as women, and in particular children. The minister saying that there have been over 500 reported cases in just 6 months alone of children being victims of crime. And also in terms of the number of cases, that has also gone up, but then over 290 cases of attempted murder involving children alone, and just close to 1,900 assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm that had been meted against children. So one of the concerning, of course, statistics at this particular point. We know that police have been saying that this is one of the issues that they're trying to deal with. The minister is saying that they are prioritizing gender-based violence. But of course, they're quite concerned with the numbers that have been reported, which show that there have been an increase and that children continue to be vulnerable. But take a listen, Praten, to what the minister had to say on this.
The crime statistics again show that we as communities continue to fail to protect some of the most vulnerable in society, our children. Last month, the kidnapping, rape and brutal murder of 4-year-old Bohabo shocked the nation and the world. A 4-year-old with so much to live for and look forward to, her life cut short by a man who has since been arrested. Shockingly, in just 6 months, 558 children were killed in South Africa from April to the end of September 2022. Police are investigating attempted murder dockets of 294 children from July to September 2022. 1,895 assault GBH cases with children as victims were opened with the police during this reporting period.